What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to today's edition of Free Tool Friday. My name is Tyler S. Clark, co-founder of Dream Firms. And I know I don't normally talk about personal stuff because, quite frankly, you guys are here for other things. This isn't a reality TV show. But a very important event happened in my life. I got married last week to the most important person in my life by far. Maureen is, of course, the other co-founder, and I just want to say very quickly to her, because I know she watches these, that I couldn't be prouder of what we've accomplished so far, and I couldn't be more excited for the future with you. Chatem. Without further ado, let's get into automating your accounting firm 101, because I know that's ultimately what you guys are here for. But understand this is that it's somewhat serendipitous that we're talking about automations and that Maureen and I got married. And you may not know this about Maureen because she's the phantom in the background. She's the one that makes the experiences amazing for our clients. And she is an automation and systems master, like top 1% of 1% in people in the world have even close to the skill sets and the way that she can break things down and just make them run like magic. So I say that because her expertise is a major driving force for not just what Dream Firms is accomplishing, but what our clients are out there accomplishing. And so to help you get into an understanding of how automation works for you and your firm, and also the decision-making process for when it's appropriate to automate certain things, I'm going to share with you a high-level overview here. And to help you with this, I'm going to start actually with the decision-making process. Okay. So as entrepreneurs in our accounting, bookkeeping, and tax firms, we're constantly trying to figure out what is the best way to deploy your resources to get to the end result faster. And for most businesses, or the smart business owners, they're looking to make more money in less time. And so when you think of automation, I want you to think automation is what allows you to get a similar, if not identical or better result that's repeatable, that you can ultimately get faster as long as you put in the time the right way on the front end. You can keep reaping the benefit with less of your time. That's the way I need you to think about it. It's like your time is precious. Automation gets you the results you're looking for with less of your time required. Now, that might be obvious, but what's not so obvious is what should you be automating? And to help you with this, I'm going to be discussing a decision hierarchy known as the DAD principles, taught to me by my coach, James P. Friel. He's amazing. Shout out to James. And I want to share it with you, but I'm going to change it around a little bit from the way that I initially heard it. So DAD is typically going to be thought of as basically D, A, D, D, right? Like that's typically the way that we're thinking of this particular principle. I'll explain exactly what that means. But what I want to do is, as opposed to having the two Ds on the end, I'm going to slide one of those over here because it's typically thought of last, but really it needs to be thought of first. So here's the way I like to approach this particular, again, decision hierarchy to help you understand automation. When you are getting ready, I'll start with a story about Steve Jobs, to be honest. Not a lot of people understand why Steve Jobs always wore black turtlenecks. It was kind of weird. It was like iconic at the same time, but no one really knows why he did it. And I'm going to share with you why. And when you are in your company, you are making an unbelievable number of decisions every day for what you are going to pay attention to, what you're going to invest your time into, the discussions you choose to have, the meetings you choose to be on. I mean, it's like decision. How team members are asking you for help. I mean, it doesn't really end. And if you can imagine the amount of decisions you would need to be making and the speed you'd be making them if you were at the head of the most profitable tech company in the world of Apple, it would be overwhelming. And so decision fatigue is very much a real thing. And Steve Jobs realized this, and he realized that one of the decisions he had to make every day was what he was going to wear in the morning. And I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but he realized that if I just had one thing to wear, it'd be one less decision that I would need to make. And I could take that mental literal energy and reapply it back into things that do need me to make a decision on. So the lesson here is that there are things in your life that you will need to delete. You will need to remove them. And that to me is the first part of the DAD principle, okay? So I think of it as the dad, right? Like the dad, right? Is that why you think the first D is first, like the daddy, right? It's like, you got to think that the first thing that you have to do is remove things that are impacting you, that are not helping you to move faster towards your destination with your dream firm. And that can manifest in a million ways. Subscribe to too many emails, spending too much time on social media, have a team member who's not producing, won't produce, nothing we do gets them to produce. Delete it. Delete the relationship. Got a bad client? Delete it, right? Like, you got to remove things that occupy your most precious resource first and foremost. You can't possibly have the time required to automate, because it can be time intensive. And no, it saves time for your future self, but your current self needs to be able to make a trade and go, oh, wait a minute, this is a crappy trade. The time I'm spending on this, I'm not getting anything from it. Win that time back by deleting first, and then you can move forward. So that's the first part, again, of kind of the dad principle here, is delete. Okay. Now remember, it's the dad. So the second D here, okay, is do it. And that might sound counterintuitive to automation, but do it as two primary facets for me. Okay. Number one is that if it takes 2 minutes or less to do it. You have to, again, clear it out and know that it's been done. This is the way I think of emails, right? We teach our clients about how to be extremely efficient with email and getting to inbox 0 once per day, like clear everything out. But anything that would take longer than 2 minutes to respond to, don't necessarily take care of it immediately. But if it's going to take 2 minutes or less, whoop, you got to just clear the bandwidth again, right? That's something you can't necessarily delete, but you do need to do certain things. And if they are quick, easy to accomplish tasks, get them done if it's 2 minutes or less, okay? And you can make that judgment call with relative ease. However, there's a second part of the do it part of the dad principle, the dad. And the second part is that do it means more than just in 2 minutes or less. To me, do it is embrace the proactive attitude, that the boring stuff sometimes, to be able to get to the fun stuff. And this is essentially saying, embrace your responsibilities to do what you believe is going to have the highest impact on your firm. Okay. So now we get into the A, and I'm willing to bet that most people here can guess what the A is, but the A is automation. So the way that you need to think about this, in my opinion, is that when you need a result consistently that does not require your direct attention, you must automate it. So anything that can be automated should be automated. That's the way I want you to think about it. Anything that can be automated should be automated. Now, that is a huge expression. I mean, that's a huge thought as well. It's like, well, what can and can't be automated? And that's part of what you're going to work to figure out. Sometimes when you automate something, it doesn't really work that well. And I've seen people spend tens, hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars attempting to try and automate something like client support. And there are elements there that can be automated, but trying to automate the entire process related to supporting customers ends in really bad experiences. You ever try and deal exclusively with just a robot on the phone when you're calling your bank? That's the bad experience that automation can create, where you go, well, we're saving all this time and money, maybe, but you might also be tanking your reputation in the process. So you have to be a little careful about falling too much in love with automation and thinking everything can be automated. Anything that can should be, but there's a limit to that. So just, again, be aware of that. So again, we've got essentially delete it, we've got do it, we've got automate, and anything that can't be automated must be delegated. We have to essentially say, okay, we can't automate 100% of our client fulfillment needs. We need real people to have meaningful touch points with our existing clientele. And of course, we can give a ton of examples in a lot of different spaces. But now we get into, okay, well, awesome. We've automated maybe 80% of the client fulfillment experience, where all these tools are working together, they're talking, they're sharing information. And now we need that personal one-on-one touch point to really deliver the value of what we do, so that we can make sure they have that really shining experience that lets them go, this is worth the money I'm paying for it, and a lot more. So that to me is the best way to think about your decision hierarchy. Delete it, delegate it. Sorry, thought about the wrong one. Delete it, do it, automate, delegate, right? Like that's the DAD principle that we live by, our clients live by, and it allows you to be so much more efficient when you just think of it through, again, that sort of decision hierarchy. I have one other thing that I really want to make sure that I cover here with you guys, which is, of course, an understanding of systems at large. Now, automation and systems sometimes get conflated with one another. And I understand why, because in a way, they feel like they're meant to represent the same thing. And the overarching theme for this month is about systems and how automations play a role in building a system. So I want to give you a really clear definition for a system to close out today's Free Tool Friday. And again, just sort of making sure that these are in their respective spaces. First and foremost, a system as defined here by Dream Firms is a repeatable process that delivers predictable results where we achieve maximum leverage. Okay, I'm going to say that again a little slower. Repeatable process, predictable results, maximum leverage. When you have any part of your organization doing this, you can say, we have a system in place that's working. Okay, we know what we're going to get at the end of it. It's easily repeatable. And as the owner, I have less than 1% to do with this system, but I get what I want from it. Okay, now that sounds very similar to automation, but the reason it's different is that a system is meant to comprise of three primary elements. Okay, people, like literally like who's responsible for making sure that this system runs appropriately, because it can't always be you as the owner. What is the process for this tool? How does the person know to be able to get from point A to point B as if the owner were to do it themselves, right? This is essentially saying, okay, if I were to remove myself from, just pick whatever you want, sales, marketing, onboarding a client, offboarding a client, it doesn't matter. Pick whatever particular process that runs in your business and you go, if someone had to come in and do this on my behalf, how would they do it exactly to my standard? That's your process, right? But the final part of this is the tools. And tools are typically what a lot of people will, especially accounting professionals, will latch on to, and they'll go, okay, the tool is going to do all of this. Maybe yes, maybe no. I've talked to people who bought like 5 software tools in a month, and I just go, well, what have we implemented there? And they go, well, they're going to do all these wonderful things. I was like, but have we even implemented one of these tools effectively to push forward one singular system? And the answer is, sometimes, maybe not really. And what I want you to do is delete the tools that are making big promises that you're not actively using, right? That's another thing that's taking up bandwidth. And then anything that you can do in that tool that's 2 minutes or less, do it, right? Like, see what the experience is like. Put some time in. Let's get into these software tools. And now you've got a little bit of time left. You're starting to get into them. And now you're going, how would I automate this? What's the process that if someone were to come in and use this tool on my behalf to get that result, how would they use the tool exactly the way I want them to? And how can the tool do 80 to 90% of that process so that they can't screw it up, right? The reason businesses have a lot of struggles and problems is the human element most of the time. It's the human interface between the tool and the person, or if the person's only doing the majority of it, they forget. I mean, it's just human nature. They're not as reliable as the machine, but you need them to understand how to rely on the machine. They have to literally understand what is the process to use this tool to run the automation the right way so that I can manage it and see it. And then I can go and deliver those reports, those meaningful metrics back to you, the owner, so that you can make higher level and informed decisions. So that's effectively automation 101. And I know that's can be some pretty high level, like thought leadership approach to it, but that's what I need all of you to be thinking about is automation's very powerful. It's sexy. It's appealing. It's like, oh, automate. But there's a process to being able to get to the point where automation is powerful and not just a drag on your firm, or not where you've got all these things that are just sort of like not doing a fraction of what they're capable of. So that is automation 101. Please don't forget the DAD principle, because it will serve you in incredible ways for the rest of your days. And I will also just say this, we're going to do a deep dive into a particular PDF on our next Free Tool Friday. And this PDF is literally like how to build systems. So this is going to be more of a tactical approach. And maybe there will be links around here so if you guys want to jump to that video once it's officially made. But I just want to say, as always, it's a pleasure to have you guys as members of our community. And I couldn't be more excited with the future of what Maureen and I are getting ready to build here on your behalf. It's going to be humbling. So thank you so much. Remember that only you can make your dream firm a reality, but we are here to help you automate, systemize everything along the way. So thank you again so much, everyone. I'll see you next week and have a fantastic rest of your work week.